What's going down, everybody? Welcome back, gentlemen. So check it out, dude. It is another absolutely amazing day out here, dude. It is beautiful. It's warm. That spring-like weather's coming back around, which I can dig it. So today we're out here, man, and we're gonna jump into the '03 Hemi Ram, Mr. 418,000 miles. So we got to take that backing bar off for the bumper cover and get it straightened up, man. I got to get this bumper cover on the truck and out of Bill's garage, dude. It's taking up a lot of space and it's been long enough. So we're going to jump out here, get underneath the truck, unplug the fog lights, unmount the backing bumper brace. I'm not really sure what the technical name is. And then we're going to slide it off and get it over here in Bill's garage. So y'all just sit back and relax, enjoy the content. We're going to jump out here and get right into it, fellas. Here it is, man. I didn't really want to show y'all that. I'm kind of embarrassed in the way the truck looks, dude. I would have never let it get this bad. But I mean, once they stole it and everything, dude, I mean, they just finished tearing the front end of it up pretty bad. So with that being said, man, this is what we're going to get out here and do. So let me open this hood back up. Right, that old Hemi. Gotta love that old Hemi. So we got to take it off, dude. I'm going to take it off right here. The actual frame mounts on both sides. So we got to climb underneath the truck and figure out where we can unplug them fog lights. So the purpose is I need to get this to roll back flat. I need this. Let me see if I can get a shot. Y'all see these pins right here? Right there? I got to get them flattened back. Roll this out a little bit. And then get this piece right here straightened up. Because look at how close it is. Right here, right, and then we'll look at the other side that ain't that bad. So the driver's side is really taking a beating on this back brace. So let's climb underneath this truck, man, see if we can't get these fog lights unplugged and taken off as one unit. So this is your far side. This is the right side of the truck, or the passenger side, whatever you want to call it. So I got it in here and look, we have one main connector right here. Right, so I can disconnect that and then just unmount it here and right here, and we can slide the whole thing off. I can deal with the fog lights once I get it over to Bill's garage. So yeah, give me 1 second. I mean, the plug's pretty simple. Let's just roll through it. So slide your lock up like so, and then let me set y'all down. Get this camera right real quick. So this is the best angle I could get, fellas. Now, like I stated, dude, you're just gonna slide your lock up. Basically, you're probably gonna want to pull it out first. You know, it's got one of them little, I'll show you here in just a second. Come on, baby, there you go. See, it's just got one of them little tabs that push in the hole. So once you get it off, man, you slide your lock back, depress your tab, push your thumb down in there, and then just pull it apart. Inspect your plug like always. That looks good. So that detaches the fog lights from the truck completely, right? We can push this up out of the way. Now we can unmount it and slide the whole thing right off, dude. That was super simple. So we got them fog lights disconnected. Now I have a 3/4 6-point socket, which I believe this is a 17. See, it's a little loose. Now, something you want to know with this is that when you unbolt it, you don't have to worry about the bumper falling. And I'm going to show you that right now. So see, I'm going to get this one. It's going to be kind of loud. It's right here by the camera. So when you take them out like that, right? So what you have to notice, see this side here? Them two bolts are together. So that pin will keep your bumper from falling straight down on the ground once you take your bolts off right here. Right? You can take them all the way off and then slide that out. Let's get this thing off of here. And the cool thing about these bolts, or these nuts, is that the washers stay on there. They're built in, so you don't have to worry about keeping track of them either. There it is. It's only 4 bolts. So, slide out one. Slide this other one out real quick. I guess we'll fight this one out. 2. Now watch this. It does take a little force. And voila, there it is. So guys, that was super simple. I am gonna take my bolts and put them through here. I'm not gonna leave them in the frame of the truck. But that'll be that, man. Let's get to Bill's garage and see what we can do. We got to get these fog lights off of here. We got it in Bill's garage, dude. So we're going to take these fog lights out. Now, for now, I'm just going to take the bulbs out and take the fog light assembly itself out. Now, I did mark everything, man. So if you see, I put a P right here for passenger, a P for passenger, a P for passenger, a D for driver, a D for driver right. Can you pick it up? Right there. And then the same on my light here. Right there. So I want to make sure everything, you know, I don't want to have to guess at it. So these here are 10 millimeters. There's 3 of them. Both sides. 10, 10. So we're going to pull them out. I'm going to, with these bulbs, look, you just twist them. They're always in the darndest spots too, man. So you got to twist it and get it far enough. Well, I'll work on that here in a second. So let me get these all. Let me set this thing down. Get y'all on those 10s right there. And if you look, so this one's been moved down. And the reason I say that is that you can actually see where they were sitting versus where they are right now. You see how far down it is? It should have been up like that. That was the original placement of it. That one's probably right there in the center. But we'll deal with all that later. See, that's another thing with this. We get to bending and shaping this bumper. I got to remember these have to go back on the frame and they're not going to move. And I also got to make sure that my fog lights are adjusted right to hit through the holes and also hit through these holes. So it might be a couple of days. This video might get drug out a few days and Junior's just going to have to drive the truck with no front bumper. I'll just mount his license plate up there somehow. But I wanted to throw that in there. We're going to get this camera set back down. Those are already loose. They look rusty, but I have to say, man, they're coming right out of here. So that's a bonus. Ooh, that was a goner. So, man, I have replaced these fog lights once. I was doing a job, and the guy had a Dodge sitting there, had fog lights on them that were pretty decent at the time. So I replaced them. Now this one, y'all saw how easy, look, these lights, you just gotta twist them. Well, you gotta unplug them first. So we'll just unplug them like that. Just pull your little ears up. Do not try to unplug the blue tab that holds your wires in there. Right, so just pull your little tab up. It takes a little bit, man. It's a sealed connection. It's one of them things, man. It's max effort. Come on, baby. This one's almost in there crooked, man. I might end up having to tell Junior he needs another set of fog lights. Because it's literally catching on the house. There it goes. It was catching on the housing right here, like it's pushed down. See how it doesn't line up? It goes further past right here. But that is what it is. So there's one. There's some glass and stuff in there. Probably because he's been getting hit with rocks. So the other one's gonna be the same principle. We'll get this one out real quick. This one's a little tighter because it's bent up. I remember having to force that one in there. It wasn't very fun. I didn't want to take my fog light wires out, but I did. It's super simple. You just got to remember it slides in there. It goes underneath your frame bracket. It's got one push pin right here, right? And then one over here, which goes right there. You just got to remember that it goes behind your frame mount and then behind your fog light mount. So I wasn't looking at doing that, but I'm pretty sure it's probably safer to do it and get it out of the way. I mean, we definitely don't want to hit a plug, or, you know, we get a hammer after this thing and then break something. So, and one more thing to note is that make sure you lay it right the way you had it, because your end of the line is going to go to your passenger side fog light. And the one with your main connector here, right, is gonna go to your driver's side of your truck. So I gotta get my impact bag out. We're gonna whiz all these off real quick. Once we zap them off, we're gonna lay that bumper over the top of this and see what kind of bending we need to really do with this thing. So we got it all unbolted. I put all my bolts back where they come from. So check it out, dude. If your bolts fall out, right, they have a square on them. Y'all see that square? So you just put them through, right? And they'll go right back in there. Same if you're taking them out and they're just spinning, the whole thing's spinning. Either lean it over like that and get it to spin off, or find a way to push it up and line that square up, and that'll be your backer. So, let me put this bag on here. One-handed, got them skills. Now, another thing to note. So, I wrote all my letters on my parts, right? Now, if you look at them, if you look at the direction of them, right? So you know when you see this bracket and you go to mount it back on, or I go to mount it back on, the D's upside down. So if it's upside down, you know it's not right. You flip it over right side up and now you know it's right. So I got to get that bumper cover and we're going to slide this into it. And I mean, we're gonna see where we're at. Once I took this side off, man, it was bound up pretty good. So we gotta see where we're at. I also think I need to get another frame mount. You can see where it's bent off, and I don't think I can straighten that to the point to where it would be correct, I guess is how I'm gonna put it. So check it out, dude. We're gonna bolt this up, right? It goes over here. So what you need to note is that you have a lineup pin there and there, right? So it's gonna slide on the inside, right? Just like that. So you have these two pins that are gonna sit like that, and then these are gonna sit there, but as you can tell, they don't line up, right? And they're not gonna, because the bumper's bent on this side. This would be the driver's side of the bumper. But I did get this one bolted up, right? So make sure your pin goes through the slot. Make sure you're bolted up. Now, I had to bolt these up and tighten this one down to pull this one into line. And then it lined up and it bolted up. So I needed to throw that in. I felt like I needed to throw that in. So we're gonna try to get this one bolted up and then wrap that bumper cover around there. So we got it slid in there, man. I had to mount this up. I had to force this and this. I had to kind of pry it over to get it in there. Now, if you see, so right here, you can see it's bent, right? And it needs to slide down in here like that. right? So that's holding me up. It won't even slide over here, right? So this has got to be straightened up, which we already know we need to roll that anyway, and I bet that'll make that better. This here, you can see it's bulging out right here, right? So we need to bend that back, and then you can see, so I'm gonna give you a shot of this. Look at this, right? I mean, we're pretty close. We're within a ½ an inch to sliding over and hitting our bolt holes right here. Now look at this one. Dude, we're like 2½ inches out. So that's a good way to have to bend it, man. So I'm not really sure where we're at this point, but we definitely got to figure something out. Okay guys, so it's been about an hour, dude. Let me show you the tools. This is what I got. Small hammer, big hammer, small pipe wrench, big pipe wrench, pry bar, tie rod end remover or separator. Well guys, it's the next day, man. So my camera died yesterday when I was out here. I was just about to show y'all what I had gotten bent out and everything else. I got it laid back in the bumper cover here, as you can see. So I'm gonna run through this on the back side, and then I'll pull the metal backing bar, backing brace, or fascia, I think it's called, out, and I'll show you the other side of it to see what I did get done. Now, you have to understand, dude, I was not gentle with this thing. I just took a hammer to it. I beat my fog light out where it was caved in. If you look at the first of the video, you'll see where this was all caved in. And it had my fog light disformed to where when I had the brace on here, it was hard to get the fog light in and out. Now with that, I got all this bent and slid down in here on both sides, right? You can still see that this needs to roll down more. Let me get this camera right. You can see that it still don't touch right here. Right now, one of my issues is that with this style bumper cover right here, it does not look like this is gonna slide down far enough, no matter what I do, for these pins right here to line up with the holes I was gonna drill in the bumper cover. So I'm glad that I didn't drill the holes and that I waited, and I could actually determine what I was gonna do with these. So what I might end up doing is taking and bending them over to where that bumper cover will slide in there. Now I do need to straighten them up a little more. I'm not done beating on this thing yet. So let me show you this top side real quick. Excuse me. So I got my top cover on. Now this is a part of holding the bumper cover onto the backing brace. So it's an important part, this little top plate right here. Now I do have a little bit of fitment issue down here on this side, that one, and this one that I gotta work on. But also I needed to roll up. I need the metal piece to roll up a little more so this will lay down in there flat, because it's an important part. Here's what we got right here, man. So passenger side of the truck, like I've stated it several times, it's not in that bad a shape. So this needs to roll more. Right, you can see it's not completely flat, it's kind of up at an angle. I tried getting some of this crease out right here, but I'm gonna have to get something, man. I got to get something to put inside to kind of get the shape back, because it's creased. Now I did scratch it up on the ground, which I do plan on throwing a coat of black paint on here. Just throw it up, and then I just beat out this dent right here because it was all caved in right there. So I beat that in. Like I said, dude, I'm not being nice with it. I'm not being gentle. I'm not looking to make it perfect. Once I get that bumper cover over the top of it, nobody will ever see this, dude. So until he wants to go down and buy him a whole nother backing brace, a new one for a couple of $100, this is what we're going with right now. At this point, it's costing him $0, and it's just costing me a little bit of time, which really ain't that big of a deal at this point. Now, I just wanted to give y'all a quick shot of this. So I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna mount it back on the truck. So I'm trying to get this thing mounted up, these frame brackets right here, here, so I can put it on the truck and see where I'm at. So as I'm bolting it back up, like I stated in the first part of the video, man, bending this bumper piece up, I'm having alignment issues. So I'm having to make sure I stay within so I can still get my bolts started here. Now on this side, I was looking. So if you look right here at this bend, look at how that's nice and straight, right? I'm gonna show you right down the edge of it. So this is the passenger side. Now look at this right here, same bend. You see that curve right there? So that lets me know this thing needs to move up also, because my alignment issue is right here. I can't really pick that hole up. Right here on this, and then on this. So with that being bent down, that's what I'm looking at. So I gotta straighten that up a little bit before I can get my frame mount on here. And then I can get it on the truck and see where we're at, man. So it is definitely gonna be a process. Now, I'm gonna get into straightening this up. Got my trusty old hammer. Got my tie rod separator tool. My pipe wrench, my impact. I mean, we're rolling with it, guys. So here's where we're at, man. So I did not put any of my fog light bracing behind there because I got to take it back off. I just wanted to see where we're at, and the fitting I'm gonna have to adjust here for the light versus over here. You can see the gap's way different, so we'll have to adjust. But man, we're so close, guys. Look at this. Look at how close we are, dude. I mean, that's an inch all day. And then I got my top plate on there, which, like I said, that's important. It holds the bumper on. That's on nice and secure. And then look at how close we are here. I mean, we're pretty much there. I'm gonna get my bolts. I gotta turn the wheel so I can get in there. I'm gonna get my bolts and line these up. It's the only two I have. We're gonna bolt that up. And I'm gonna see if I can stretch it around the other side. And if I can, we'll rip it off, put the fog lights back in, and then we'll mount this thing for good. Check it out, dude. So we got it bolted up. We already know I got the top plate on. So I had to stretch this bumper around here. Got the two bolts on. This one's missing. It got ripped out in the crash, but you can see that I had to force it around there, right? And then if you come around here, you can see right here, right where the bumper's bent. So that was one of the reasons why I had to force it around here. So I got this side on there. I got it stretched around there. Got a bolt. Check to make sure the wheel wasn't gonna rub whenever he hits bumps or he turns. So let's step back and take a look here. I'm gonna close this hood real quick so we can get a good look at it. So there it is, man. So we almost got it mounted up. I'm gonna take it off. I gotta put my fog light brackets back in, my fog lights back in. I'm not gonna take the bumper cover off the back brace. I'm just gonna leave it on there. I can do everything once I get the bumper back off. Run my fog light wiring and then remount it and level it. You see the lights? See how that one's close and that one's far? So we're gonna readjust the bumper and then we're gonna mount it down for good. Check our fog lights. If we have to adjust, we'll adjust. And then that'll be that, man. So here it is, fellas. We got it all bolted back up. Got all of our bracing, our fog lights in, both sides. Like I said, I got it wrapped around. I had to stretch it, but it's on there. So I didn't spray this down with black paint. I mean, at this point, it is what it is. It's really not gonna hurt anything. We don't deal with the extreme rust down here in Texas, so thankful for that. Now, I'm gonna get out here. I'm gonna put it on the truck. We're gonna line it up and then I'm gonna get one good final shot. Here we go, baby. We got it, man. We got it on there all the way. Got my fog lights mounted, put in there. They're looking nice. Look, bam. Got this one over here, look. Bam, got them lined up. They look good. So I also got the bumper lined up well. Look at this body line, dude. Nice and tight against that light. And then you can see where it's still bent in a little bit, but it's nice and tight along that fender line. And then we'll go to the passenger side, which wasn't that bad. So this one's nice and tight all the way around, right? Looks good, dude. So I'm glad to get it put on there. I'm sure he'll be happy to see it. Oh, and I even got this piece slid in there. I just got it zip tied, man. It doesn't fit that well, but it does look better. So I went ahead and put it in there. At this point, it is what it is. Oh, and one more thing with adjusting it up so high. I had to make sure that I could get my hand in here right for my hood latch. So when I pull it down, right, I want to be able to slide underneath there and pop that, which I can. So, one last shot here, fellas. Man, that thing looks good. We'll get down low. The gray actually looks pretty good on the blue also. I would have to say so myself. So, man, it's been a process. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It was simply just a matter of getting out here and doing it. So I'm glad I got it out of Bill's garage, dude. It's been taking up a lot of space. And I'm glad I got it on the truck because it looks better. Man, we got traffic everywhere today, guys. So, with all that, dude, keep living the dream, doing your thing. Like and subscribe. Always drop your boy a comment, and I'll catch you on the flip side.